Today we're looking at the Phenyx Pro PTM-22 IEM wireless system. This system has two belt packs, which you attach your IEMs to. You can monitor and listen wirelessly to the signal going into the main station here, which is a rack-mountable system, and it's got two channels, so you can run two different mixes into it, or you can have both of these belt packs on one channel. So there are three different tiers in this product line. The PTM-11 is one channel. It transmits one mix. You can have as many belt packs as you want, but it's got one mix that's transmitting. The PTM-22 has two channels. It's got two mixes that it's transmitting. It also comes with two belt packs. And the PTM-33 has four different channels. It can transmit four mixes, and it comes with four belt packs. All of these could support more belt packs, so they're not really limited in terms of how many the body packs you can have synced up to it, just how many mixes it can transmit at once. And these systems are all mono because it is AM radio, and AM radio is mono. In the box, we've got the two belt-worn receivers. We've got sets of headphones for those. There is the main transmitter, along with its antennas, an AC adapter. There are extra B and C cables, so you could route the antennas somewhere else, like if this was mounted in a rack. We also have the rack ears for rack mounting it, and there's some rubber feet and the rack mounting screws. So it's a complete system with everything you need to get up and running. You're just going to need your mixer and a signal going into the transmitter to send it out wirelessly. As far as the build quality of everything, the transmitter base station is all metal. It's got a metal faceplate. It feels quite sturdy. It's pretty standard rack mount gear type build quality. Feels good. The body-worn receiver packs are all plastic. They're fairly lightweight, even with the batteries in them, which is nice. They do have a metal clip. Kind of see the thickness of the plastic on the battery cover here. And it's a pretty sturdy, thick plastic. It does feel pretty good. It is plastic, and even if it wasn't, I wouldn't go dropping these things. I wouldn't recommend that. But since these are belt-worn on stage, that could happen. I think it could tolerate a couple falls without disintegrating, but, you know, it is not metal. I would try not to drop it too much. There isn't a whole lot to break on the body pack. There's an antenna and there's a knob for volume, which also turns the unit on. The only thing I'd be concerned about breaking on this would be this knob, and that also turns it on, controls your volume. Otherwise, it seems to be fairly sturdy as far as plastic goes. The system is pretty simple to use. You've got 2/4-inch inputs for each channel, so that could take two different mixes if you've got a mixer capable of that. This system operates either around 500 megahertz or 900 megahertz, depending on what country you're in. I was testing the range of this device and walked all around my house to different rooms, to different floors, and even outside. And it wasn't until I got outside a fair distance before I started getting dropouts. Even on a different floor, pretty far away from this unit, I was still getting 5 bars on the body pack here. So I never had any issues with dropouts. It is radio, so you won't lose the signal entirely if you go out of range. It will sort of fade out and become noisier, and eventually you could lose the signal entirely. But being an analog signal, it's not going to just cut out on you, and you're not going to get dropouts that would change the timing of anything. So it shouldn't really be introducing much latency at all, just the latency of radio waves, which is not much. And you don't have the problems of something like Bluetooth. So for setting up the device, you can have two separate mixes going into this for each channel. There's also loops on each channel. You could use that to, say, power wedge monitors, floor monitors, speakers that you want to run at the same time as these wireless units. So you could have your whole monitoring system, if you were doing a venue, all off this unit. Setting up the belt packs is really easy too. There's 5 different groups and 10 channels for each of those. You just select the group and the channel you want. You hit sync, and then you have to point this infrared window at the transmitter itself, and it will pretty quickly pick up whatever you've set on the transmitter on the belt pack. It's really easy to change and quickly sync these up. You just need a line of sight between the infrared on the transmitter and the belt pack. The only time that could be an issue is if this is in a rack and it's not facing wherever the belt packs are. But if you were setting this up for a show, you just have to make sure these are synced up before you hand them over to the talent so they can do their thing on stage. There's really not a whole lot of buttons and controls anywhere in this system. You've got the group and the channel buttons, you've got the sync buttons for each channel, and you've got a volume knob and the power button. And that's all there is on the transmitter. On the belt pack, you've just got a volume that turns it on, turns it off, and you can control the volume. So very simple. Everything's easy to use. The only thing to remember is when you're syncing it up, make sure the infrared window on the belt pack is facing the rack unit, and you're good to go. The only real weakness in this system that I found is the included headphones, which I didn't even expect them to include headphones. These are some of the worst earbuds I've ever listened to. It really doesn't matter because I wouldn't want to use this kind of earbud live anyways, because it doesn't have memory foam tips, which if you're playing with a loud group, you're going to want the memory foam tips for hearing protection. Most people are going to have their own IEMs that are going to be higher quality. So these are kind of a freebie toss in. It's nice they include them. I appreciate that. But they are really awful earbuds. Sadly, they look okay, but they just don't sound very good. They do work, however. I tested both out, and despite being some of the worst earbuds I've ever listened to, they do work. All the actual hardware is good, and the manual is clear and shows you how to set everything up with some examples for how to use it. So I think they've done a good job with this system. I don't really have any complaints or much else to say about it, but I hope this has been informative. As always, smash like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.